That's good. So how are you today?
I'm well. How about yourself?
I am good. It's Tuesday, another scorching day, I suppose. But
Oh man, isn't it unbelievable?
yeah,
It's
yeah. I've lived here since '87, so once it gets around to June, you start expecting it to be warm and sticky and everything. So um,
wow.
it sort of makes it up when it's a more temperate climate the rest of the year compared to some of these other places. Um,
So where did you move here from?
I originally came from Manchester, England.
Okay.
So I came back here in '87. Business brought me here, and did a couple of startups in the intervening years, and enjoyed doing that. And then I got asked to be if I'd be interested in becoming a business coach. So
Fantastic.
yeah, I took the opportunity of doing that. And as you probably gathered, one of the things we do is do a newsletter that goes out to our database, and we put it on social media. So to help people learn about more of the local businesses. I mean, it's been fascinating. I mean, some of the people I've talked to have just been fantastic. And who knew such things were going on in the city of Memphis? We always get plied with the latest shootings on I-240 and all that. And yet, there's so much great stuff goes on in this town. It's just hard to get that message out. So hopefully we can start putting some positive things out there and make some connections for people, because it's definitely all about networking and stuff. So
That's true. That's absolutely true.
one of the things, my businesses were always like national in nature. They weren't particularly local businesses, and so I didn't really do a lot of networking around here. But over the last few years, I'm working at Colleyville Chamber and stuff. You sort of get to understand what the power of networking is these days, and it's a relatively small investment for a lot of return, and a lot more tangible returns than just straight marketing these days. So it's been a really good learning experience for me too. So I'm excited about all the stuff that's going on, and love to hear from you about your business and your background. And obviously I'm recording this, so we can make the video.
Oh gosh.
feel like it's an obvious thing, but you sort of have to say it anyway, just to make sure everybody knows. So tell me about your business and you, and how you got to where you are, and what great challenges you've overcome to get here.
So this year, my company is 19 years old. We started down in Texas with the idea of providing a way to deliver a message via video in trying to set an appointment. So we built out the little delivery system and installed it in 5 different types of companies all around the country. And all 5 failed miserably. And when we did the postmortem to figure out why, what we discovered was that no one does appointment setting very well, because there's not a tool that is specifically geared for that process. There were call center tools. So if you ran a call center and you had hundreds of butts to put in seats and heavily managed, you could maybe make that work. CRMs offered an option, but they were so click intensive that it became too difficult for mere mortals to do. So we set out to design a solution, and the first definition of the solution was a one-man call center. And our target market was the guy that works out of his house on straight commission, and if he doesn't prospect, he doesn't eat. And that was the guy we're looking for.
Right.
So anyway, that's what started the company, and over the years we've turned it into an enterprise model. So we can, matter of fact, we do have a guy that has 100 butts and 100 of our seats. So, but anyway, that was kind of the mission, to make it easy to do the work that is necessary to generate a conversation with a potential customer.
Okay. So that was, you say, what, 19 years ago?
Yep.
And you've grown it out since then?
We have. Yeah, it's we're still we would still be considered a small business, but we're more of a boutique business, I think, now, or lifestyle business, because all my employees like to go to their kids' baseball games and soccer matches, and my employees in Romania, they like to do their holidays, and They like to drive down to Greece as often as they can and go skiing. And so, you know, and being a virtual company, you know, I've got really good employees and they can do that. And they cover for each other, you know, they make sure that everything gets taken care of. So
how does your product differ from things, you know, people might be familiar with, like Calendly or a Salesforce type tools?
So we typically compare ourselves to CRMs. So you could be Salesforce, you can be Zoho, you can be Microsoft Dynamics, you can be Infusionsoft, you can be HubSpot, you can be any of those CRM products, and we are much more efficient. So what they can do with 200 clicks and 125 screens in prospecting, we can do with 42 clicks and 11 screens. So and the product is so easy to use. This wasn't an original design element, but it turned out to be part of the product packaging, is that we train people for free.
Okay.
You buy our product, we'll train you how to use it at no charge. Matter of fact, we'll do a lot of the work to get you ready to make calls, so you don't even have to learn how to be an administrator. So anyway, that's how we compare. It's just an efficiency play is what we've done. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think things like Calendly and Salesforce, certainly HubSpot, you know, they are deep and complex CRM systems.
Yep.
That do make it difficult to set up those appointments and synchronize your calendars. And you know, for example, I mean, we use Microsoft Teams and stuff as our, but nobody ever actually uses it. We use Zoom and we use Calendly because Microsoft is just such a complex piece of software for the use that people want out of it. And
it's a little over-engineered.
Yes, yeah, and I mean, my thing would be it's engineered by engineers and not by users.
That's probably true also.
And this day and age, it seems like everybody wants something that's user-friendly and simple, forward-facing, because everybody, especially in the last couple of years. So I would think that during the COVID stuff, with everybody moving to work from home, there was great opportunities for you guys there.
Yeah, we had what we call the COVID bump. When, you know, everybody all of a sudden starts working at home, people are saying, well, I only have one tool now. I have the telephone. And so we did get a nice little bump of business because of that. And that helped us. And anyway, COVID wasn't bad for us at all.
Yeah. Did you have to change your tactics at all, your marketing or anything?
No, we were already virtual company. And we have, I guess over the last 6 or 7 years, most of our business has been through referrals, which is obviously nice. It's interesting. We sell software, make it easier to cold call, and we don't do as much cold calling as you might think. We have a cold caller that sets appointments for me, but we don't depend on that to grow our business as much as our clients depend on us to grow their business.
Right.
It's kind of weird the way it all worked out. But
that's right. Yeah, every business has a path that you end up following. There's usually some pain along the way to get you on that path, but you know, it's adaptability when it comes down to it. You know, can you adapt to the circumstances and to what people want in this day and age? So what were your biggest challenges over the last, you know, sort of 10 years? I mean, as you grew your product, is it, I'm presuming constant innovation is a requirement, or consistent innovation?
I think the biggest challenge that we faced was adding functionality and maintaining that simplicity of operation, so that we could still train people for free, even though the platform from launch, the one-man call center, through to the development of the enterprise version has been a huge number of features. I think we worked hard and faced the challenge of still keeping it simple to operate and where we could train for free.
Right.
And so I think our engineers helped us with that, fortunately. So,
but I'm sure, I would also assume that you get a lot of feedback from your clients, and trying to find the right features if it's a centralized software, you'd have to find the features that go across your whole platform, or can you customize it for each of your clients?
So for the most part, every feature that we install, everyone can use. We do install now and then, and we'll expend the resource to build a feature that only one client uses, but they're our large clients. So we don't mind accommodating large clients. And some of these features we hide from the rest of the customer base. One, because they don't need them, and two, if we expose it to them, it makes the product more complicated looking.
Right.
So that's been one way that we've been able to, keep the simplicity concept alive and make all of our customers happy.
Yeah.
But I would say that every feature in the app has been a customer suggestion. We're smart people, and we have people that work for us that set appointments. But when you listen to your clients, it's interesting what they'll come up with. And then sometimes they'll come at you wanting to do something, and they're saying it the wrong way. So you have to kind of interpret what it is, and you ask a lot of questions. But at the end, you get to the essence of the efficiency they're trying to generate. And sometimes how they believe it should be done, we end up doing it that way. But in the most part, we understand what they want. They just didn't know. They knew what they wanted, not how. And so we figure out what they're really saying, and then we determine the how.
Yeah, back in sort of the early 2000s up to 2013, I owned a marketing software company, and we had a centralized core which enabled a lot of the functionality to happen. But a lot of our clients, and they were large national clients, they wanted specific things that they thought they needed because they were special and unique. And the task was to try and make them use the software to get the most out of it without degrading it by introducing all these different pieces of functionality that they thought they needed. Our goal was that somebody could come on, build an ad or a marketing piece, and be off again in 5 minutes. And just like you were talking about, it's like the number of clicks, because our users was not the corporate. Our users are franchise operators or the local dealerships. And so we all, and just like you're talking about, we had to look at it from their perspective, not just from the corporate side, and persuade corporate that this is really the way that the franchisees would best benefit from using a system like ours. And so that was always challenging, to be able to come up with that sort of a process. So, I talk to a lot of young people in class and stuff about being an entrepreneur. And so if you look back through the formative years, what would you say to them was the biggest challenge, and what should they be prepared for?
I think the biggest challenge for most small businesses is they don't know what they don't know. And I would encourage them to, talk to anybody they'll talk to that might be able to give you a perspective that you don't have, might be able to provide you maybe with a little even motivation to go into a zone that you're not quite comfortable with.
Yeah.
But I always found that early on, especially, I would go to meetings sometimes where they had investors, and these investors were amazingly open with their time. And some of the things that they mentioned to me just casually, I thought, God, that's the smartest thing I've ever heard. I can't wait to go try that.
Yes.
So anyway, even a short conversation with a reasonably smart person, you learn something.
Oh, they could hire a business coach too.
Hire a business coach. Yeah, I never have done that. So
yeah.
So one reason I was kind of interested in chatting with you. I've never hired a business coach. I've had people to help me build documents to help me build my business, do fundraising and those kind of things.
Yeah. Business coaching is all about working with a business owner to establish where they are and where they want to be, and developing a path that helps them get to that point. So they're running it, so they have a business that runs itself without their everyday involvement, and so they can focus on the bigger picture and not on the day-to-day pieces. And businesses of all shapes and sizes work with a business coach. I mean, for Action Coach itself, who I work for, we coach like 15,000 businesses a day across the world. And they're all in various needs of different things, but the ultimate thing is, as a coach, we can bring together people in a peer group, it's called a membership program, where people of similar minds and similar business ownerships get together, and they can talk through all the different plans and ideas. And just like you're talking about, if you talk to different people, you get different perspectives and different ideas about where that business is. So it's not just one-to-one coaching, where a coach like myself would talk to you and help you achieve your ideals and goals. It's putting a group together that can work with themselves and talk through themselves and get to know the intimacies of each other's businesses and be able to make some suggestions. So it's a multi-purpose thing. Not only do you get a business coach, but you get peer-to-peer consultations and coaching too. And it's sort of the future of business coaching, I suppose, is this membership program. Everybody wants to be a member of something. We all belong to Netflix, or we all belong to a gym. But for coaching, if you belong to a group, you can successfully navigate your own business. You have those people to talk to that help you navigate your business, and likewise your experience can be beneficial to others. So a business coach, Action Coach always talks about, there's a coach for every business throughout the world, because whether they like it or not, even the top professionals in sport, the Tiger Woods and stuff like that, always have a coach, even though they're winning everything. Everybody needs a coach, and I think it's the same for business too. And I tell people the same thing that you're talking about. I wish I'd have had a coach 10 years ago in one of my businesses, because the outcome might have been a lot different if I had somebody to help me with that. And that's the value of having that coach. It's with you throughout. It's not a consultant where we come in and write a 300-page document and say, hey, this is what you need to be doing, Bob, and let me know how it works. A business coach is with you throughout the whole process for as long as you need that to help you achieve your goals and what it is. So it's a good job. It's a good position to be in. It's a good challenge. Everybody starts off from different places, but we're all heading in the same direction. By the time it's finished. So that's sort of what coaching is about. Since I've been on board, like yourself, I've worked in business for a long time, been around a long time. It's great to be able to use that experience to help other people to navigate tricky times. But also, what I'm finding is the biggest thing is, where do you want to be in 5 years? How do you see that? Because people start businesses, they get involved in it, and they get involved in the day-to-day, and they forget about the long-term goals for themselves. Where is it you want to be in 5 years? And then how we're going to get there.
So I noticed on your in your email, you mentioned, let's see, how do I find this in here? So there's a complimentary call, and it does some stuff. So I wouldn't mind doing that.
Absolutely.
Keith, I think on my website, that book of chat is my calendar. If you wanted to get on my calendar, and we'll set aside as much time as you'd like. Obviously, it's just complimentary. I'll talk with you all day. I'll buy your lunch. But I wouldn't mind taking another step with you and just see. I've got some things that I don't know you could help me with, but I wouldn't mind kind of talking through and hearing what your take on it is.
Yeah, I'll be glad to. I'll go on your calendar and set some time up. And do you want it? Would lunch be okay? You want to do it? Or just want to do a call?
Let's do a call initially and see, and then and if it looks like we'll take another step, we'll go somewhere and do it. I love to buy your lunch. Don't get me wrong. I just have such little time. I haven't the other thing during the pandemic that I need to get away from is, prior to the pandemic, I liked getting out and I have very few customers here in town, to tell you the truth.
Right. Okay.
I have friends and people. Lunch was a big part of my week during the pandemic. When that went away, I substituted other things for that, and I need to just get rid of those other things and kind of go back to like it was before. So
right,
it's
it's really interesting you say that, because before I started with Action Coach, I worked at the Crescent Club as the membership director.
yeah, okay.
And that was like one of the obstacles to people was getting them out of 18 months worth of doing it differently.
Sorry. Actually, it sounds terrible. There's some mornings I get up and say, I'm not going to shower today. And get done.
Right.
And nobody cared, you know, because
see, I would use you as a poster child for the Crescent Club's issues, which is, and a lot of other businesses too, but specifically my personal contact was, you know, as the membership director, people had gone and done, not that they didn't like the Crescent Club, not that they didn't like the idea of going, but they'd done things differently. And so it was like, okay, well, maybe you need to think about, you know, getting out and going back to face, and the Crescent Club is a great business meeting location. And so what you're saying then, it just strikes a chord, because that's exactly what we were up against when I worked for them for a while. And then Action Coach came along, and you know, this is a much bigger and better opportunity for me personally, and that's why I wasn't working it. I really like. In fact, I actually joined the Crescent Club, so I use that as like my second business, because I work from home too, but that's like a second location that I can go meet people at, and so I can go work there if I want to. So yeah, I'll be glad to set some time up with you, and I will get this video edited in and send you a copy of it, and then we'll start putting it through the newsletter, and I'll set some time up for us to have a chat about your business.
That sounds great. I have a hard stopper. I chat with you now. I've got a
no problem. Good talking to you, Bob, and I'll talk to you.
Keith, I look forward to it.
Thanks.
Nice meeting you. See you again.